So, good morning. Just turn the cameras on real quick. Just to do a little bit of almost live. Was doing a little bit different color. It's kind of interesting, and I'm actually going to tie a couple of these extra up for me with maybe a, what's it called? The Midwest Finesse head. Let's get things switched over here. Had a video last week. I completely messed up my picture-in-picture. I have a preset size, or I have a size that's custom set, I guess I should say. And I hit one of the preset buttons on my mixer, and it completely messed up everything. I even had my table, the screen and everything's a little bit off center maybe. But I think I got it back close. So, but what I'm tying today, in the vise I'm putting out a 1/4 ball head. It's an olive color paint. I'm using a Gudebrod size 2/0 round nylon unwaxed rod wrapping thread. Color purple, just to match the color combination that we're doing today. And this customer likes the natural olive but didn't want like green. So what we're doing is I'm taking the hair from the center back of the tail, that's that brown, kind of the brownish layer, and it might have some olive kind of mixed in. So that's what we're picking, just so that olive is a little bit darker than that white section, the dyed white section. Very simple jig. He's fishing primarily for walleye, and they're still finding fish fairly shallow, 10 to 15 foot of water, sometimes even a little shallower depending on the time of day, early morning or late in the evening. And so he wants this in 1/4 in size. So a few wraps towards the bend of the hook, a few wraps back, overlapping to lock that into place. And I have a light purple. Here's our typical purple, the real dark. My goodness. There we go. Almost live, guys. So usually we'll black and purple. The nice dark purple is what guys are really looking for at this lake. But this guy, he wants the same tone. It's the same tone. It's a kind of a warm purple as opposed to a real cool color. It's just a little bit lighter, not quite a lilac. If I held this up to like a regular lilac type tail, the lilac is on screen looks a little bit pinkish, to be honest. But this is what we're going with for the belly. Just a lighter shade, and I don't know if it shows up, but the tips on this actually are darker. So this is kind of a neat tail. I think I've used this before. And like I said, we're using the purple thread. to complement these colors. I do have some new thread coming. I wasn't going to say anything about it until I actually got the big order, but over the years I've had a lot of viewers asking about the type of thread I'm using. I mentioned the Danville 2/0 an awful lot, which over the years people have been having a harder and harder time to find, and I haven't had to purchase any. I have such a large collection. I have boxes of 12, just as an example. My red Danville 2/0, I probably have 10 boxes of 12 still in my inventory. So I haven't had to look for thread, if at all, much recently, but if at all, I don't think I really have. So what I've found is that it is becoming harder to find 2/0 thread. It's not a thing. And yes, you can do the denier conversion, right? So maybe I don't know, like 210 for the size A, and what is it, about 70 would be similar to the 2/0. Or do I have my numbers swapped? I'm not sure. But people were having a hard time finding the thread. I started looking, and sure enough, like, you cannot find unwaxed thread if you tried. And nylon thread in general is even at stores like the big box store like Joann's, or any place that would specialize in embroidery and sewing. You can find polyester thread, but just a straight twisted nylon, or a straight like 2 thread nylon, impossible. So I did a lot of searching. I actually found a company that's new to me. Though it looks like they've been around for a while. But they're not located here in the US, so maybe that's why I didn't know about them. But I have an order coming, and I've used their size A thread and their 3/0, which is a very good substitute for the Danville 2/0. Just making sure that I have the butt end of my collar nice and straight. Looks good. So I got a bunch of thread coming, and we'll do a little bit of show and tell. I'm actually looking into terms, buying the thread at a discount, so I can maybe put it on the website, pass along a little bit of savings to the viewers, but also just to offer the 3/0 thread, which is perfect for jigs 1/4 or smaller. And today I'm using a 2/0 Gudebrod unwaxed nylon thread for this jig. The other thing that I got kind of in the wings that I'm hoping I get before the end of the week, but it might not be till next week. New vise. Not that I'm getting rid of my old favorite. Absolutely not. But I want to maybe tie a little bit more bass jigs, the jigs with let's turn this off and take a look at the jig while I'm talking. So, you know, tying some bass jigs, tying some larger streamers, and I just need a vise that would work a little bit better. There we go. Let's see. Very nice jig. I really like this. I like the natural olive, you know, that more of a natural color, but then those eyes really stand out in the purple. I know this will be a great walleye jig where this guy's fishing. But getting back to, gosh, making sure I have everything on. Getting back to the bass jigs that I want to do. So some of those hooks have a much bigger hook in regards to the hook diameter. Some of the sizes going up to 3 or 4/0. Same thing with like maybe a larger streamer, hook sizes that go up 3, 4, 5/0. So my Universal 2, I can tie those types of hooks. It will hold them, though it really pushes the limits on the jaws. I also have the anvil. What's it called? The wolf. Is it the anvil? It's the small vise, which is a good, you know, I like using it as a travel vise, but it also has the ability to hold the hooks that are a little bit bigger in diameter. But I wanted something a little bit newer, a little bit fancier. And so I have a vise coming. It's kind of a middle of the road in terms of quality. And we'll talk a little bit more when I have the vise in front of me. You know, you can easily spend $600+ for, you know, a really nice fly tying vise. Most guys, you know, if they can find something in the $200 range, and that's probably going to be a vise that will last most lifetimes. You know, you're going to get a lot of tying out of a good quality vise in the $200, $250 range. So that's what I have coming, but specifically for larger hooks. And I'm going to be really excited once I get the thread, and once I get that vise. I'll probably jump on. I might do a video for each on the same day, just because I'm really looking forward to getting both of those. And I have a third vise coming, though it hasn't shipped yet. Or third vise. I have a third order second vise coming, though it hasn't shipped yet, for tube flies. And you know, a lot of the tying that we do here is just my regular production tying. I haven't really turned the cameras on an awful lot when I'm doing fly tying for fun, because there's so many quality fly tyers. I don't even, not waste my time. That's not really the right terminology, but I kind of focus more on lakes and rivers, freshwater fish, and let the other guys, you know, in the Catskills, they can do their dries and wets and nymphs, because it's a whole different focus in terms of materials, stuff that, you know, thread material, the materials that we're using to tie that I would have to keep in stock and really, you know, maybe take a little money and invest in the beginning to stock up on some of the materials that I would need to tie 1,000 dry flies, right? But I do that completely for fun. And this is the same thing. You know, the tube fly vise that I have coming really is an aspect of streamer tying that I always thought was really neat. Majority of tube flies, I think, at least from my limited knowledge of it, seem to be for ocean fishing. And they were much bigger flies. It made sense to me. You know, you have something like that where you want to swap out the colors quickly on the go, or you catch you get a strike and maybe lose a fish, so your fly is kind of mangled, so you can quickly swap that out for a fresh fly and hook real quick and get your line back in the water. And I always thought it would be neat if that was pared down for things like walleye. So there is a guy, and here's another video idea. I ordered a bunch of tube flies from him just as a collector. I was impressed with his stuff. Ordered some jigs just to collect. Or tube flies just to collect. I'm not going to fish with these, and they are nice. So I am feeling like it would be nice to do a little bit of a show and tell for this guy. And just talking about tube flies and using them for walleye particularly, but river fishing in general. And, you know, looking at them and how they're sized down really made me think how, you know, that's something I would like to try here locally. And really, this is just for fun. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be successful at it. I don't know if it's, you know, really something that I'm going to fish, even if I am successful, if it's something I'm going to use over and over and over, because jigs are really, you know, it's what I know. It's what I fish with 70% of the time in the river locally, right? Maybe even more, 80-90% of the time, depending on the season. But you know, tying tube flies, I want to do it just for fun. I want to do it just as a learning experience. I want to do it just as a few more tools, right, in my arsenal of knowledge. So I'm really interested in diving into that and seeing what I can learn. So I do have a second vise coming. It's going to be, it'll probably be a month from now before it gets here. And then there's just the regular, there's going to be regular videos depending on the season. I know that later in the summer, and I'll be fishing, you know, there's a couple lakes that I fish specific times a year just because that's where I am, or you want to take the kayak out with the kids and the wife and let them we all kind of go, we stay together, but at the same time we all kind of do our own thing sometimes with the kayaks, or, you know, my wife does the nature photography. So, you know, there might be an hour or so where let her go take photos and I'm going to sit and fish. But it's, you know, I'm fishing bluegill and crappie. So, very nice jig. And the flash I'm using on this is just the Krystal flash, dark purple. The number on it is the KF22. So I know there's a few jigs that I'll tie up. I'll probably turn the cameras on when I'm tying up those jigs. specifically, you know, showing bluegill jigs. So, of course, I forgot to check the time like I always do. Let's see. I don't know. We've been tying 20 minutes, 15 minutes probably. Oh, there should be a counter. Duh. Boy, am I professional. I don't know where it is. Somewhere on my screen is a counter. I can't see it even with my readers. I think we'll tie one more here. This spool is almost dead, but I know I can get one more jig out of it. So we'll tie this up. Maybe end the video there before I jump away from the table and get some fresh thread. But mainly just wanted to let everybody know I got some really a couple things that I think are just really going to be fun to talk about. Particularly that thread. I'm very happy that I was able to find some nylon thread, unwaxed, round thread, not flat. One to you know, boost my collection, my inventory, but also to be able to offer it. I'll add it to the website, jworthhandtied.com. I'll put it on the website, and you know, it'll be priced. Even if I can't buy it at a discount, you know, I'll break even. I don't care. Just to offer it, because it's just so hard. And you know, people that watch the channel and they know that they can find it there, I'd be happy to sell it. Just so, you know, if people want to try to tie this way, the way I'm explaining. Size A thread, still, you know, totally easy to find. Pac Bay is probably my all-time favorite right now. The Fuji Ultra Poly, another great size A thread, rod wrapping thread. So I'm not sure when this video will post. We just had walleye season start just a couple days ago, and I want to get out this weekend. I had plans to. Not sure how that's going to work out. It looks like it's going to rain from about midnight Friday to about midnight Monday. In which case we probably won't go fishing. Though if it's not too bad, even if we don't go out on the boat, I might take this pattern maybe to our local spillway or the river here that's local. I'll fish from shore. Here we go. Very simple pattern. Dark olive with a medium purple with some purple flash. Other color combinations for this that would be very similar and work great, using just a natural brown bucktail, the brown patch from the backside of a undyed tail would also be a great substitute for the olive color here. Tying it on a brown head with that natural color, natural brown. But really simple jig, very nice color. Nothing too fancy, nothing too flashy. Very natural presentation. There we go. I like that jig. Red collar too, that would be another thing that I would consider. But I like that purple. But I think that will do it for us today. Just excited, wanted to get the cameras on and kind of give everybody a little bit of heads up. Some of the things we're going to talk about in the very near future. But I think that's going to do it for us today. As always, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any new content. Feel free to share any of our videos as it does help promote the channel. You know, get out. It's walleye season, guys. Get out fishing. And until next time, keep tying and tight lines.